You think you know love until a little red-faced, wailing bundle shows up, looks at you like you're made of pudding, and suddenly you're smitten. Becoming a grandfather wasn't in my retirement plans. I had travel brochures, golf clubs, and a recliner that knew my body better than I do. But instead, I've got diapers in my glove compartment, spit up on my polo shirts, and something terrifying called a diaper genie in my guest room. And you know what? I wouldn't trade it for the world. They told me I'd be a grandfather, but no one warned me that being a grandfather is just being a father again. Only this time, slower, softer, and a little more creaky in the knees. When my daughter called me and said, "Dad, I'm pregnant," I didn't jump for joy, mostly because I can't jump anymore. But I did that thing we old men do where we grin and nod and reach for heart medication, just in case. The first time I held my granddaughter, I didn't cry. Okay, fine, I cried, but just a little. And mostly because I hadn't slept in 48 hours and no one told me babies are so moist. Now, let me explain something. There are rules to being a grandfather. Unwritten, sacred, confusing rules. Rule number 1, you are not allowed to say no. Apparently, that word belongs to the parents now. My job is to give snacks, hugs, and inappropriate amounts of sugar before bedtime. Rule number 2, anything the baby does is adorable. Even if she just smeared mashed banana on my new recliner. It's art, apparently. Modern, slippery, fragrant art. Rule number 3, you must become a walking, talking jungle gym. My back may be 74, but to my granddaughter it's a deluxe climbing wall, with snacks at the top. I offered to babysit once. Just once. My wife looked at me like I'd offered to do brain surgery with a butter knife. But how hard could it be? I've raised kids before. I know what I'm doing. Oh, how naive I was. The baby was quiet. Too quiet. You see, in the world of babies, quiet is not peace. It is a trap. I walked into the living room and found her with both hands in the dog's water bowl and the remote control in her mouth. And then came the diaper incident. Friends, if you've never tried to change a squirming baby's diaper while she tries to escape like Houdini in a onesie, you have not known true humility. I thought my heart had already reached capacity. I thought I knew what love was. But then this child, this little person, looked at me and said her first word, "Gampy." Now, I don't know if that's supposed to be grandpa or grumpy, but either way I melted. We have our rituals, this little girl and I. Every Thursday we have tea parties with invisible tea and very visible cookies. She pours me air. I pretend to sip. And she always insists that I wear the tiara. And I do. Because when someone looks at you with unconditional love, even while taping glitter to your eyebrows, you wear the tiara. I used to think gratitude meant quiet mornings and hot coffee. Now it means loud giggles, cold cereal on my socks, and 3 a.m. FaceTime calls just to hear her say, "Hi, Geppy," before hanging up on me. It's messy. It's loud. It's sticky. But it's beautiful. I'm grateful for the chaos. I'm grateful for the spilled juice, the forgotten toys in my shoes, the pink stickers on my car dashboard that I still can't peel off. I'm grateful that I get to love this child with the experience of age and the tenderness of wisdom. I get to see my child become a parent. And I get to help from a respectable, sugar-distributing distance. When I look at her, I see my legacy. Not in wealth or achievements, but in bedtime stories, in silly songs, in walks to the mailbox where we pick up every rock and name them all Rocky. Family is a living, breathing poem. And grandfathers were the commas. We're not the stars, not the headline act. But we give rhythm, space, and sometimes a much-needed nap. We hold the family steady. even when our knees shake, even when we forget what we walked into the room for. People always say the old teach the young. But honestly, ever since I became a grandfather, it feels like she's been teaching me. I've relearned how to be amazed at an ant crawling across the floor. I've remembered how joyful bubbles can be. Yes, the soapy kind flying around my kitchen. I've rediscovered the art of slowing down, not just because my knees demand it, but because she stops to stare at every leaf like it's the Mona Lisa. One day, she pointed at my face and said, "Grandpa, your eyebrows look funny." Instead of being offended, I laughed, because I realized I used to be embarrassed by the wrinkles, the gray hairs, and the belly that's, let's say, ambitious. But to her, I'm the best grandpa in the world, even if I look like Santa Claus on sabbatical. Every time she heads back home with her parents, I stand at the door, and suddenly the house feels a little too quiet. The tiny chair still sits in the corner. The stuffed bear lies under the couch. And in my heart, there's a pause, not sadness exactly, just longing. Longing for the giggles, for the pitter-patter of little feet, for the hugs that are short in length but massive in warmth. I've learned something. Being a grandpa doesn't mean being there for every moment. It means that every moment you are there, you love completely, because children grow up, and time never asks for permission. So I do the only thing that matters. I laugh, and I treasure every memory like a jewel in my heart. So now, I'd like to say a little prayer not just for myself, but for every grandparent, every senior soul who's found a new kind of joy late in life. Lord, thank you for the gift of this child, this tiny tornado of joy and mashed peas. Thank you for sticky kisses, bedtime stories, and little hands that reach for mine. Thank you for giving me a second chance to love, not out of duty, but out of delight. Lord, help me be gentle when my back hurts and my patience runs low. Help me remember that I'm not here to raise a perfect child, but to love a perfectly imperfect one. Remind me to be present, to slow down, to cherish the giggles and even the tantrums. Let my stories be her lullabies. Let my wrinkles be reminders of a life well lived. And let my heart stay open, even when my joints won't. Bless this family, Lord. May love always be louder than arguments. And may the glue that holds us together be made of laughter, prayer, and a little glitter. And Lord, if you could help me remember where I put the pacifier, I'd be most grateful. Amen. So if you've just become a grandparent, welcome to the most beautiful, exhausting, hilarious chapter of your life. You're not just older now. You're wiser, warmer, and weirdly good at peekaboo. Lean into it with a silly hat. Eat the imaginary cake. Let yourself be loved in ways you never expected. Because this is the good stuff. If this video brought a smile to your face, or reminded you of your own beautiful chaos, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with another grandparent who needs a laugh and hug. And if you're feeling especially grateful today, drop a comment below. I'm thankful for, and tell me what grandparenthood means to you. And remember, love doesn't retire, it just becomes grand.